And hopefully this time is the charm that takes care of it. And we have it to the best of our ability. Okay, hopefully I will have some people joining me here shortly. Happy Valentine's Day. We're going to try it again. Hopefully it's public. Hopefully people can see me. We're going to try this one more time. If not, I'll do a pre-recorded reading for you guys and I will post it expeditiously so that way you guys can get it today. All right. I'm going to give it about a minute here. Is anyone there? Moderators. Oh, I see somebody. I see someone. Okay, great. All right. All right. How is the focus? How is the focus, Miss Laura? Okay, excellent, excellent. Hi guys. Tell me how the focus is. Does it look better or can you see better? Is it clearer? I changed the landscaping, so I'll have to experiment with that again. It's very clear. Excellent. All right, let us begin again. All right, so perfect, perfect, great. Now I'm going to allow Miss Laura to greet you guys when you guys come in, and I'm going to focus on the reading for the next 20 minutes. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Y'all, oh my gosh, full transparency. We all have things we're good at. When I tell you this tech stuff is stuff that I'm pushing through and learning, and as you can see, that's what just happened. A shenanigan, okay, guys? And I even did a test run this morning. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I'm ready. I researched new techniques. Absolutely not. We're gonna go and try to true. We're gonna do the vertical thing, which I don't necessarily love, but we're going to do it because you can see me, and that's what matters. All right, and you can hear me, and we're clear. So we're going to begin again. New beginnings, guys. The two themes that are coming up is forgiveness as well as being able to trust that a manifestation that you have will actually come through. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. Oh, I don't know how to fix that, Miss Laura. I don't know how to fix it. It kind of pops in and out for me. Like it fades in and out for me. So I will do the best that I can. All right. That's why I wanted it on the horizontal. In any case, guys, we're here. We're going to get into it. When you have new beginnings, just oh, thank you guys. When you guys have new beginnings, the thing that you have to understand is that you have to forgive the past. And what I was saying, we had some technical difficulties, so I'm going to rewind and get back to it. What I was saying is that my awakening into the twin flame dynamic happened at Valentine's Day. I was around my twin and she was triangulating me and doing all the things, and I had to walk away from that as quickly as possible. That was many years ago, but Valentine's Day was always very triggering for me. The thing about, yeah, I don't know how to change the chat. That's so interesting. the thing about the holding on to that, if I would have held on to that, I would not have been able to soulmate date going forward. I wouldn't have had friends. I would not have had love. When you go through a hard breakup, a divorce, anything of that nature, let's see here, anything of that nature, I do look innocent. I do. I wanted to get on here for you guys. So yeah, sacrifices were made. But when you get on here, when you get on here, hold on one second. Okay. Wow. we're busy already here. All right. So one of the things that I was going to say is that when you get into that situation, you have to really focus. You have to really, really, really focus and get outside of yourself, because it's very easy to get stuck in a loop where you start to say, I don't want love. And this is the day of love. Everyone is everyone wants love, everyone deserves love, but in the collective sometimes we can have moments where we are in a space where we are pushing it away because we're scared, because our ego is scared, because it hurts, because it doesn't feel good, because we are worried. I love love too, and it's a wonderful thing to have it. But when you've been hurt, or when you've had any kind of issues regarding getting out of a relationship where you felt triggered, it's very easy to, out of ego and fear, push it away. The new beginnings are possible for anybody here that's going to be watching or watching this on the playback. But the issue isn't the new beginning. The issue is, where is your heart and where is your forgiveness at? Because what will happen is we can atrophy. And so that's what I wanted to focus on today. Everyone's talking about love and all of the juicy ways, and we all want that. But you have to first love you. And I know it sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. So when I talk to my collective, the regular A1 Day ones here, we talk about self-care being your first line of defense to ward off any kind of unwell wishes that are being sent your way, but also to ward off the energy of not having love come in. When you are in a high level of self-care, what you're going to be able to do is find yourself where you're pulling in people that will treat you the way that you're treating yourself. And so that's why it's so important to really, really, really focus and spend time purposely loving you. All right, so let me take a look here and see what else comes up for you. All right. So part of the new beginnings is to remember that the past is now behind you, release it, and embrace the new possibilities. A new path is available for you. Follow it in faith. I love this for you guys. I love this for you guys. I love this. I hope it focuses and you can see that. You get, this is like angel gifted and angel given, which is that you have a new path. And if you're here today, you've already gone through the hardest part, or you could be in a relationship. There could be a lot of things that are happening for you in either way. But if it's something where you've decided, I don't want to, then this message specifically is for you, because what we're doing with this is we are, yeah, you get your wings indeed. What we're doing with this is that we're calling in what we deserve. And Earth Angel Collective here, and you guys that especially that come visit with me and spend time and exchange energy with me on this channel, know that my mission is love for you guys, to see that grow for you in every way, whether it's self-love, whether it's friend love, whether it's love. But I love, and I feel like what you need to remember too is there's an important component regarding your sacral, your chakra, your solar plexus that will be activated by another person. That's why you need to vet, you need to pay attention and all the rest of it. But if you get knocked down, you do need to get back up again, because you will find love that comes in. I had a story that I jotted down for you today of a client of mine who was really at the brink end of her life specifically, and the double rainbows have a meaning here too, and I'll talk about that with you. But she was taking care of a lot of people that were kind of breaking down and passing away around her. She was she had gained some weight, she wasn't happy with herself, and she was just pretty much ready to like let it end. And when someone that she loved passed away, finally she was giving them palliative care. When they passed away, she really got reins on her life and got a new lease on it and started slowly walking by a track. And she had gotten out of a really toxic, relationship. And she was like, I'm never looking back. I don't want to do relationships anymore. Like, that's it. I've done it. I served my time. I don't want a husband again. She started walking around a track and started eating differently and, just slowly and surely. And she met someone at the track. And they started walking together, and they started, hello, they started walking together, and they started connecting. And she got married, I think about a year ago. But it was the most happenstance, like, surprise, but it wasn't a surprise at all. She decided she wanted to live again. And she started self-caring. You guys see the correlation? She started to, oh, I love you too. She started self-caring. She started connecting with her soul. She asked her angels to take control, and then she took one step at a time in front of another step in front of another step, and it led her directly into the arms of a man who actually cherished her and was a widow himself and never thought he was getting a second chance. God has an amazing, miraculous way of intervening and stepping in when we are in active self-care. Hello. When we are in active self-care and when we are doing what we're supposed to do, when we're actually vibrating in a space where we believe that love can come true. Self-love is definitely the goal this year in every way. That it's almost like radical, like aggressive self-love, because that means, for those of you girlies that love a little bit of a tinge of toxicity in your relationship, or your guys that love that, for those of you guys that enjoy someone that really loves you and is connected with you, and I've heard some of my clients say, I want them to be obsessed with me. Well, be careful what you ask for there. But if you want someone that's highly invested in what's going on with you, you have to be highly invested in what's going on with you. And that is going to shift the dynamic of it being a situation where people are there just to maybe take from you, or you're getting into non-reciprocated relationships, and you're going to be in relationships where your dreams can come true. The dream of having people love and care for you and look after you. But are you going to love and care for you and look after you as well? And Empress Moon says, and embracing both the dark and the light versions of ourselves, major push with the work in shadows. Exactly. And that's one of the things that I really advocate here on this channel is shadow work. You better know your shadow before someone else does. Our shadows have saved our lives. They've pulled us out of our toxic relationships because we had to get just as mean and just as creative and just as crafty and cunning as people that were coming up against us. And our shadows have also maybe led us into some more salacious and at sometimes we thought delicious things. I want you to reflect on that. That's a really good point, Empress Moon. I want you to reflect on the two places your shadow has taken you. Sometimes your shadow is the protector of you. Sometimes your shadow is the one that might lead you astray, because our shadow does have an appetite and a taste for whatever it does. So you need to know what that is for you so that you can avoid those pitfalls, or you can look at those pitfalls and say, I'm choosing differently this time. Another thing, exactly, our shadow is quite naughty. Another thing to understand is that it's not that you picked the wrong type, it's that you were involved and invested into the wrong pattern. In order to get to a new beginning, that is a key component of understanding, is that you have been invested into the wrong pattern, not the wrong type. One of the songs that comes to mind is Jamie Foxx's I Always Fall for Your Type. And I think I might even have some videos here where I've done readings on it. But the thing to know about it is not that you are just falling for a type. You are in a frequency and a vibrational misalignment with something that was the same. That's why you could date a new person and they could have the same traits as your ex, or they could trigger you like your father or your mother or that whoever, you fill in the blank. And that could happen cyclically, repeatedly. It's because you were in a pattern that was matching the vibrational frequency, and that pattern was causing you to attract the same thing. So what I want you guys to practice right now is mantras that have to do, yes, with breaking free of the patterns. I choose a different pattern this time. As you're entering your new beginning stage and phase, it is important for you to say that to yourself. I choose a different pattern this time. I choose a different way to go. I choose to align with a different frequency. But the fastest way you can say that, we can grab that with our energy and we can create a portal and we can open that, we can walk right through. But the change really begins with you. Like the client that I was talking about that took one step in front of the other at the track when she had no intention. She went out there and she said, I went out there fat. This is what she said to me. And I went out there literally looking for no one. But the whole time she was out there walking, someone was out there walking too. Not with her, but sometime into the middle of her journey, he began to gravitate closer because he was guided to. And I love that love story because they both were kind of hopeless and they were just out there thinking, he was thinking, my wife has passed, it's over for me. She was thinking, I'm sick of relationships and toxicity. And somehow they found each other, but it's because they were in aggressive self-care. Step by step, with consistency, they were out there and they were drawn to each other. So for those of you that are like, well, when's it going to happen? Or how's it going to happen? Or I don't want to go out and I hate online. It can happen exactly how you order it to happen. Because at the universal table, we dine. When you put in your order at a diner or a place of service to eat, you wait for that to be cooked back in the kitchen. You wait for it to be whipped up and you wait for it to be served hot and fresh to your table. You don't get up and go back and walk behind by the chef 20 times and ask, wait, is it coming? Wait, do you know that I'm gluten-free, or do you know that I need extra spice, or I need it to be sugar-free, or whatever you need on your particular meal? No. You trust that the waitress is competent enough to get the order to the chef, and the chef is competent enough to create the dish, and it's going to be brought to you. The same method of love, bringing, attracting, and having is a guidance system that the angels told me to share with you. They said, trust us. And that's one of the cards that came up. I had a couple technical difficulties launching this live, but I already pulled a card that said trust, guys. And so you have to trust that if you are aggressively in self-care, if you're identifying that your pattern is what it is and that it needs to be different, and then you're trusting that the universe knows how to whip it up in the kitchen, it's going to be whipped up in the kitchen. For a lot of you guys here, you've already gone through your karmic relationships, and that's what I'm really happy to say to you and celebrate with you. You've already shared your hardest parts. You've already learned what you don't like. And one of the things that we talk about here often on the channel is that we create from contrast. So you know what you don't want because you've had what you don't want. Now you know what you do want. And now what you do want, when it comes in, is something that can last, because you know how you're showing up. You know what you're bringing to the table. You know what you have to offer. You know if you are willing and if you are able. But it first starts with an emotional shift in you. We cannot have any kind of breakthrough if you think that you do not want love. And I'm telling you, I have watched too many people play themselves, and they put themselves in that box, and they're like, no, 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 because of all the reasons. And the reasons are legitimate. Again, a few technical difficulties, but I was saying that my twin flame journey began on Valentine's Day many years ago. Meaning, not began, it ended. Okay, it was a catalyst for incredible growth for me. But on the day of love, I was getting played absolutely to my face by someone who was treating me and doing me absolutely dirty, and it sullied me and it left me bitter for sure. But I pushed through it. I reintroduced myself to my shadow. I let my shadow help break me out of there and set myself free. But I never said love is not a possibility. I never said I'm not going to manifest love and connection and all of the rest of that. But let me tell you, it didn't happen overnight. Now, a lot of you guys that got out of relationships with narcissistic people, or people that have any umbrella of the DSM of insanity, sociopaths and the likes, we attract them like flies to rice, guys. You know how it is for the empath dynamic. When you get out of those relationships with those people, it's very easy for you to think like, I can't really trust anybody. I can't really do this again. I can't move forward here. And you will want to be stuck, and then you'll watch them and they've moved on. Maybe they have a new booski, a new girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever the case may be. They remarried very quickly. What I love about the collective and what we hold ourselves accountable to do, and the only way that you're going to get a love that sticks and stays and is true, is we do the long road, which means that we don't immediately couple. That does not to say that we haven't got under someone else to get over someone else. Of course we have in our life. But at this stage in our life, we're doing things different, and we're aspiring to do them right. And right really is to work through that pain and that bitterness so that you're not taking it to someone else. I promise you guys, you cannot trick love, and you cannot trick the universe. Because for many of you guys here, that love is going to manifest. It's going to come in. And what happens if you think you can shortcut your healing is when you're faced with that love, it will be triggering on its own, but it will be super triggering because you didn't work through some of the things. You didn't ask, like, how do I love? What do I want it to look like? What can I give? How close do I want to be? Do I need someone that is obsessive over me? Or do I need someone that, when I say obsessive, I'm using it loosely, but someone that's super into you? Do I need space? Have I changed my whole attachment style because of the love rat race? These are real questions that you have to ask yourself that we don't ask ourselves until love's staring us in the face. You guys out there are such powerful manifestors that you will in fact manifest love that comes directly to your door, and then you're going to be like, how do I deal with this? I did not realize that this is what I asked for. Yes, it is. So I want you guys to be self-aware, and I want you to take accountability and work through that shadow and take your time to heal. But I want you the whole time. I don't care if you just found this channel today, you are going through a breakup on Valentine's Day like I did so many years ago, and you're like, I can't even wait for the big reveal. I'm over this. It's never going to happen. I'm done with love. Even if you feel that, I want you tonight, before you go to bed, to say to yourself, I invite love. I invite love. when it's ready for me in some way. Even if you don't believe a word you're saying, just that is going to shift your frequency. All right, let me get 2 more cards here, and then I'm just going to pull some cards for you guys because we had technical difficulties and everything else. But one of the things that's coming in for you guys regarding new beginnings, I can't make it up. Power. You instinctively know what's right for you, and you have the power to say no or walk away anytime. Guys, I want to share with you from my life a little bit here. In soulmate dating, that's something you have to do, okay? And that's something that I've had to do. So there have been people that I have thought I was attracted to or thought that I liked or whatever, and then I realized that they were on a high level of F-ish, and I walked away immediately, quickly, real quick. And that is what you have the right to do. The beautiful thing about going through what you've gone through with narcissists and what you've gone through with rejection is that your discernment is laser razor sharp. So you are not going to need the same level of protection that you did before when you had such a tender heart. In fact, what I'm concerned about for a lot of you guys is that I do not want you to harden your heart. Because we can get so good at protecting ourselves that we can have an icebox where our heart used to be. Shout out to Omarion, right? So what I want for you guys is to thaw a bit and understand that your discernment is your first line of defense. It doesn't have to be a cold heart. It doesn't have to be rejecting all love in any form. It has to be, and it should be aimed to be, understanding that you're incredibly powerful and no one's ever going to take your power away. And you understand. So when it comes time for union, to any degree, you get a say. It's not that you're just swept off your feet. And pay attention to those butterflies. Certainly we can have attraction for people, but do you feel safe with that person? In your new beginnings, that's a question to ask yourself. Do I feel safe here? Do I feel calm? Do I feel loved? Do I feel seen? Do I feel connected? And when you ask those questions, instead of feeling the fluttery butterflies, I once heard Halsey, who's written some amazing songs about tragedy and love, but Halsey talked about her mom telling her that specifically, and I've heard it before, of course, but you need to understand that it's absolutely the truth. Who do you feel safe with? Not who titillates you, not who excites you, not who arouses you. That doesn't mean you have to have a passionless relationship. Not at all. But that person should be a calming equilibrium place and energy for you, just like you should be a place of that kind of refuge for them too. Another message here that the angels wanted me to convey is not to treat a donkey with too much attention, lest they behave like a lion and act out of place. Let me explain. It's kind of a West Indian saying. You guys can often, because of Earth Angel energy, put a lot of light and love and pour a lot of connection into people who may not always deserve it. Sometimes we give people trophies who haven't earned it and who are not worth it. In my soulmate dating experience, there was one person that I gave trophies to because I was projecting, as we can do, my empath sensibilities onto someone who was emotionally depraved and immature and just actually duplicitous and terrible. Really, I'm not, not to be a downer. And I realized that I couldn't blame her. A rat's a rat. Snake's a snake. People that love to take are going to take. Opportunists exist. But it was me who was treating someone who was treating me like ish. I was putting a lot of attention into a donkey. And if you give a donkey too much attention, they will start to think that they are a lion. And what that means is that they are maybe noble or regal or worthwhile. Our energy tends to make people feel miles high, and that's okay if it's mutual and if it's reciprocated and if they're feeding back into you. But many of us here know what it feels like to be siphoned from people that are taking and taking and taking and literally using our energy signature to raise their vibration and to feed maybe karmics or third parties, and it doesn't always have to be lovers. It could be family members. It could be whatever. But one of the things that, yeah, they do crash hard. One of the things that happens is that they will mistake it. And it isn't until we remove ourselves completely that they get back to reality and they realize, oh, that wasn't my energy. That's kind of one of my favorite things. That's why I leave immediately. As soon as I realize that someone is purposely trying to violate me, because I trust my intuition and I trust my powerful instincts, then I know that then everything in their life will essentially fall apart to whatever degree, or it will return back to its normal status before me. Maybe it's not fully apart, but maybe it's just not as shiny. So be careful who you give your attention to, because when we are feeling like we want companionship, it's very easy to want to be on our Josh Groban and want to raise people up and stuff. And really, those people just want to take our energy. So when your new beginnings, be discerning on how much attention you give to people. And especially if they're not existing in any form of reciprocity, it is perfectly okay, because that's what partnerships are for, to give energy to someone that loves you, to give energy to friends and lovers, yes, that connect with you, that are giving back to you, that are gifting back to you, that are feeding into and speaking into you specifically. Then you can reciprocate energy, but you have to yes, but sort of doesn't give whiplash. You have to be so careful when you're giving energy to people that never really like pay attention. A lot of people come into our lives and we may be the most together thing that they've seen in a long time, whatever that means. And everybody has a different version of together. I had a client who was a groupie, literally traveled the world and whatever. And she hooked up with other groupies, but she was like a more together groupie. Like she had a real business that she was doing even after a night out of, partying and whatnot. She was online making money and whatever. She wasn't like reckless. She was just, wild and free, had a wanderlust to be sure. But she was attracting other groupies that were like, well, you're out here like me on a wing and a prayer, so whatever. And my client wasn't that way per se. She had structured her life so that she could go play. And then she was putting a lot of energy into someone who was kind of a donkey. Shout out to you if you're watching. And she took her power back because they were not equally yoked. Just because they were in the same place and they were traveling and liking the same band and all the things doesn't mean that they were equally yoked. And sometimes we earth angels can see somebody and be like, I want whatever, but they are not putting in the work. Whoever she was dealing with was not staying up the late hours to make the money and to be responsible in whatever capacity, even though to the outside it just looked like it was all a party. We earth angels show up differently for everybody, but usually what I've noticed is that we show up as a responsible parties more often, or we might be matched up with some other earth angel, and that's what's coming in for a lot of you guys is divine unions, where they're also responsible to whatever capacity and degree as well. They have their own thing, you have your own thing, and there is, an interdependence more than just straight up codependency. So anyway, that's what I have for you guys. With your new beginnings, forgive, trust, know that your intuition and your instincts are super powerful, so you're not going to get played. Even, listen, when I was soulmate dating and someone was wanting to play me, I'm just going to be fully transparent with you on this Valentine's. When I say she came in like a wrecking ball, but I knew it immediately. This right here, you instinctively know what's right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away. Now, here's a message and a lesson. I let my shadow play. It'd been a minute, and I was like, you know what? Let me just see. I know she's full of shit, but let me just see what she's going to do. But I had clocked her from the first maybe time we connected, the first time we were maybe even face to face. I was like, oh, she's mad shifty and she's playing games. And I asked her about it directly. It wasn't like I thought it and wrote it in my dear diary, dear Jesus, this girl's playing in my face. That happened, but not in any kind of real writing way, but just more like speaking it. But my angels were like, watch her. Watch her. So you see, guys, my discernment did not leave me just because she was playing reindeer games with me. My discernment was just as sharp, but I allowed my shadow to lead me. I remember Sylvia Brown talking about her guides and her angels working with her. And I think her guide or angel was named Maxine. And so Maxine, she saw a guy at a party, and she said as soon as she saw him, she knew she was going to have a karmic cycle or 5 with him. She was very attracted to him. Sylvia Brown is one of the famous, I guess she's passed away since, but she was like, I saw him and I knew he was it. And I remember going upstairs and brushing my hair in the mirror, and Maxine was talking to me because she's in her calling at the time. And she was like, and she was telling me, skip it. Don't do this. But see, we have free will. and she wanted to do it and did it. She did. She did. And he put her through all the hell that Maxine, her angel, and her guy was warning her that he was going to put her through. That's what I mean by we have free will to choose what we want to do. Just because I had discernment and I saw that that girl was a nightmare, I decided, you know, I watch enough Freddy. I've seen enough Jason. I've seen enough Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought I had some skill sets. And I was like, I'll get out before it gets too sticky. And I did, but it still cost me. Any karmic relationship, and that's why it's like know your shadow and know what you like and know what game you might want to play. Any karmic relationship will deplete and take things away. So whether it's your finances, your sanity, your health, you name it, it will be on the chopping block. And that's why that's a dangerous game to play. So really the higher self lesson would have been turn it immediately away. That first time that I was like, God, what a terrible person she is. Truly, deeply, what a flawed and fucked up person. I should have removed myself then. But I didn't, because we have free will, friend. And I'm glad it happened, I will say, because it got me to say and teach a lot of lessons. And also it got me to learn myself differently. It really had me do exactly what I just talked to you about, which is creating from contrast. We don't know what we don't want until we have it. And even though she may have shown up as something that may have been, it could have been magic, she was not ready to do the work she had to do. If I want to break this down on another level for you as to why it's so imperative for you to do the work of asking yourself what your truth is and where your shadow lies and healing yourself. Some of you guys were dispatched into people's lives and you are absolutely meant to help raise their vibration, but they have to choose and have free will, and we can only carry them for so long to a certain degree. And in the case of that person specifically, she had not done enough work on herself to be equally yoked with me, to be able to keep up with me, to do anything. It wasn't about anything financial or anything. It was just she was not ready. So whatever love she manifests in the future for her will be karmic and toxic, not just because I want it to be, though, y'all, you know, when someone tries, you know how we feel, but it's not that at all. It's because she was not really doing the deep dive and work that she needed to do. And that's why I'm suggesting for you guys to do the deep dive and work that you need to do. Does that make sense, guys? Because when love comes in for you, and it will, you don't want to be her. Does that make sense? Faced with an earth angel right before you, but not knowing what to do with it and sabotaging it greatly and creating more karmic debt for yourself, actually. That's why I want you guys to really, really, really focus on loving yourself and healing whatever is broken in you. Does that mean that person that I soulmate dated was a terrible person and lost inherently? No, because I've been a karmic person in someone's life too. I've treated someone the way she treated me. Karma happens expeditiously and in perpetuity. So I definitely cleared up some karmic debts with her. She created some with me. You get it, guys? That's how that happens, whether she meant to or not. And if she meant to or not, it's because she didn't do the work that she needed to before we connected, and she wasn't ready. And that's okay. That is really okay. I want you guys to be ready. That's what I'm saying. We can look back at our past and our exes and be like, da 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 da, and da 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 da. But what I've realized is that to come into alignment with an earth angel is a challenge. And it means that you have to rise your vibration and raise your vibration up. And you have to be ready to do what it takes to meet them more than halfway. Not overgiving like we did, but like saying, okay, I've cleaned up this part of me, I've healed this part of me, and now I'm ready to work with you, and now we can ascend. For a lot of you guys, it will be about building or creating something or making some kind of magic and in a relationship dynamic, and that's why you need to be healed, but you also need to know your shadow. The reason I talked about knowing my shadow and watching my shadow choose that connection, even as it devolved into slippery and more slippery toxic issues and energy and vibrations, is because I made that free will choice. I think I needed that lesson because I was like, I am so earth angel-y that I can just sprinkle this. And I gave a donkey attention. I gave someone attention who started to act like a jackass, which is truly ridiculous. And you guys have experienced it too. But I did it because of the things that I hadn't fixed inside of me, which may resonate with you. Sometimes we want companionship. Sometimes we're like, well, I've done all the work and I waited, so what else is there to do? Well, be careful what you ask for. My angels showed me very quickly that I had a lot more work to do because I was not a vibrational match, and I heard it and I didn't listen. So I do not want you guys to think like, I'm going to get tricked again. The narcissist is going to get me. She didn't get me one day. I knew right from the beginning she was full of it, and I told her so. And you guys are the same way. But like Sylvia Brown, the famous psychic who has passed away, you get to decide, do you want to play? Or do you want to elevate? So call in what you want for you, because sometimes we will choose a karmic path because we have more work to do. I didn't realize how much work I had to do. And that cleared it up for me, but again, it cost me. And that's what I want you guys to try to walk through in the best way that you can. When I say it cost me, it took chunks out of my ephemeral body. Being in connection with someone who is not equally yoked with you and who is not vibrating like you're vibrating will really deplete you guys. And that's what I don't want you to do, because then you have to spend all this time building your resources up. It took me a good year and a half to purge her energy, to work on other cutoffs of other people, and to set myself free before I felt like I could be back outside, actually. You understand? But I had to work on that. I had to really, really work on that. And you see what a derailment that is? And that's why for you guys, we can't be afraid to use our discernment and intuition. And that's so true, Miss Laura. That's why for you guys, I want you to, if you can, avoid that path, because that derailment can be so frustrating. And then you can really sit in this place of bitterness of like, well, I just opened my heart again. I'm a good earth angel, so how come this happened to me? Well, I happened to me because I made choices. You see, we have free will. I very well could have stopped it in its infancy and in the infancy of her fuckery. But I decided I want to play over here still because of games and shenanigans. And I had to take responsibility for that. I know that that derailment, though, cost me a year off of my career. It cost me a year off. Do you understand? And for her, for people that are karmic, it means nothing to them. They go on with their life, living crazily, happily, haphazardly, whatever. But for my Earth Angel Collective, you guys are usually focused. You're building something. You're working on yourself. Some of you guys are retired. Some of you guys are newly married. Some of you guys are freshly divorced. Whatever the case may be, but you're working on something for yourself. Some of you guys are business owners and practitioners and metaphysical practitioners and singers and artists. I have so many people in my collective that are so freaking fantastic and magical and gifted, business owners and entrepreneurs. And when you have any kind of love sickness, we all know that that can make us be very unpure in our work, right? Well, what's my work? It's talking to you. So that derailment is not something I can afford, and it's not something you can afford either. So you have to really ask yourself what you have to give. Don't give donkeys that attention for them to act like lions, sis, because that's a mess. That was a mess. And make the choice that is best for you. You will not be fooled, though, and that's what I want you to know is the truth. I wasn't fooled. She was aware that I wasn't fooled, but you guys in your situation, I want you to think back on a relationship where you made the decision, like Sylvia Brown did, to go in the shadowy direction and say, I think I want a snack right now. Like, I think I want this right now instead of that right now. And that was such a pow for me, right? I'm usually very obedient. And what I learned about that to teach you guys is, man, had I just let it be, how much further I would be ahead. I learned so much about me, but I also cleaned out. So even if you get into a situation, even for a minute, and it feels sticky, I promise you, you will be able to derive important information from it, and you'll never repeat it again. That situation, knock on all the woods. And not because I'm going to say, I'm never going to get soulmate date again. I'm never going to see anyone. No. That's not what we do. That would be stuck in my bitterness. That would be stuck in my fear and my egoic body. That's not the truth. I was not put here for that kind of energy, and neither were you. But you have to say, after you've healed, all right, show me how to do this properly. Guide me. And God, if it's not for me, take it from me. And let that be what it is. But what I want my collective to understand is that love is absolutely for you. It is meant for you. It's destined for you. Jesus wants you to have it. God wants you to have it. Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, Allah, everybody wants you to have it. you're supposed to have it. You are not here as a divine feminine or masculine and not going to experience the other counterpart. But what happens first is you integrate your heart. I need you to incorporate your own divine masculine and your own divine feminine. So, hold on, guys. Your exes want to spin again. I have a song coming up here, a channel message after this. You guys need to integrate your divine masculine and feminine so that you can exist and then coexist with a partner who's also done their work too, whatever that looks like for you. All right, guys, I have questions for the first 10 people that are in here. Right now, it looks like there's only 10. One question, one card pull. So shoot, and Miss Laura, keep me organized with it. I'm going to be on here for another 20 minutes. All right. And that's what you need to know about your new beginnings, guys. Just to put a pin in that. All right. Are there any questions about your new beginnings? Anybody out there? Oh, that's a great question. What should you know about using your tax returns to open up a business? Happy to answer that for you. First thing that came out, you've had a lot of anxiety about this, and what they want you to do is to trust that this is a message that you have received. They said you have had this for a long time, and you've been pushing through a lot of personal and interpersonal things to bring this to fruition, and they want you to stand on business. One of the things that is going to be imperative for you is healthy communication and proper contracts too, with that Eight of Swords. So I want you to course correct ahead of time. Whatever your legal ease area is and however you're managing that, that needs to be tightened up, because I'm hearing there's a thin line. And they said that in the past, compromised partnerships have got you off track, meaning what I'm channeling is that in your life, this has been one of the lessons that you incarnated in this earth plane to learn how to rectify. So you have this opportunity to create a new karmic path for yourself, and a new pattern for yourself regarding partnership or business, or even just making sure that you've read the fine print. Your best key for manifesting this business, it's a big yes on that, but the best thing for it is for you to be sure. I want you to go ground yourself and then ask if it's a yes or a no. So literally sit outside and ask your angels and your guides the yes or no. I say it's a yes, but I always say it's above me. Ask them and you will see. But they want you to rid yourself, in as much as possible. Any kind of business endeavor can cause anxiety, and they said you have a proclivity to lean towards that. So they're saying this time, know that they've been guiding you the whole time and they have your back. Okay, hope that was helpful for you. All right, what do I need to get done before my new chapter? I'm moving in a year for a fresh start. Okay. What do you need to know for your new chapter? What does MT need to know for their new chapter? Oh, the cards are going everywhere. I was trying to just get one, but... All right, cooperation is what's going to get it done for you with the Three of Pentacles. There's a couple of things here. You have some new gurus coming in. You remember what I teach you guys about gurus. Your gurus are transient. They're not permanent, right? So you will have people that come in and out of your life, that are dispatched in and out to teach you. You've learned some lessons about saving. One is what comes up here with the Three of Pentacles, but also about the work that you need to do. And I really like the year time span for you, MT, because I feel like what's going to happen and what you need to know about that is that it's all about cooperation. They're actually going to send people in that are going to work with you. And I don't care if that's carrying a couch or if that's helping you to understand, or I don't even care if it's parasocially too. That's what they said. So if you're researching where you're going to be moving to or what's going on, even if you're finding that online and you've never physically met a person, they said that they are sending in people to be of service to you. And they said you are ferociously independent, and asking for help or taking help is not something you like to do. And they are highly recommending for you to do that this time during this. Not asking for advice, There's a difference. They don't want you to ask everybody around you what they think. They want you to get certain about what you are going to do, and then they will send people in that will be of service to you. Okay? Hope that was helpful. In that space between my old and new paradigm, and I'm struggling in releasing the old fully. Any guidance is appreciated. Let's see. You're in a liminal space. I do have a video up here about liminal spaces and navigating the liminal space, the in-between, quite specifically. The boring and in-between, too. You know, that's kind of the truth about the liminal space. All right. You're welcome, MT. All right, so let's see here. Ooh, what blew up for you? What blew up for you? Well, listen, I have good news. I have good news and bad news. Which one first? Actually, it's all good news. You already did the bad news. That's the good news. With the tower here, you already did it, my dear. You already did it. The hardest part of the liminal space that you're navigating happened, I'm seeing, within the last 3 to 4 months for you. So you already did a lot of like heavy lifting. There were cataclysmic things. The tower fell. All of that. Like, tell me if I'm lying. Stop me if the lies are told, because you know me and my angels. We want to make sure. Well, actually, what I heard was life had you in a chokehold. That's what I heard. Okay, not to trigger anybody here, but life had you in a chokehold. So the beautiful thing about the tower, and my favorite thing for you, is this truly is a liminal space, and this is oh good. I'm glad I'm on it. This truly is a liminal space, and oh, also this. They asked me to show this to you specifically. Charging yourself with amethyst and also working with Isis specifically is coming through for you. Crown chakra downloads is what they're showing me for you. You got a lot of heads up about when to move so that you were not crushed by the tower when it fell. And they are really, really, really proud of you. Okay? They said you navigated that very well. And they said that, and so maybe grabbing some amethyst, picking it up any way you can, especially as you're moving, because you get real clear messages. Also dreams that come in for you too. They said they're proud of you because they said there was resistance. I'm sorry, I'm saying I'm pulling a card, but I'm getting a lot of channel here for the reading, so I'm going to give it to you. They said there was a lot of resistance that you had to release, and that's why the tower had to come in to disturb your peace. That's what they said. That's what they said. And they said they wanted you to move, but you were reluctant to out of obligatory duty. So that's the lesson. Oh, I'm so glad. That's the lesson that you were learning, was to stop being such an earth angel and overgiving, right? And yep, you were in the comfort zone. That's my favorite emoji with the little sweat bead. That's me all day. So I know that feeling. You were in a comfort zone, and that's why they said, plug it out! And they sent that tower in. But anyway, I'm so grateful for that happening to you, even though it was really traumatic and it caused some emotional distress. Also, be careful with some autoimmune issues happening as well. Hello, Monica. With some autoimmune issues happening for you. You've been overgiving for many years. Anyway, I'm going to get out of your business. That's one card pull. I'm doing the most. I just want you to know. They know. And they said they're holding you so close. They said it made you draw closer to your spirituality. And sometimes those towers that we can never foresee do exactly that. They get us on bended knee. And so mission accomplished. And actually, the hardest part is over for you. Now, stay grounded, amethyst, and ask directions, because they are moving you. All right, let me see what the next question was after that. I hope that was helpful. Collective light. Let's see. My sweet Jacqueline, my friend Jacqueline, I love you. All right, let me see what's coming up for you, Miss Jacqueline. Her transition. Okay. Wow. I was going to say this. There was some stuff coming up here with not only the rule of law, but contracts, obligatory duty for you, and marriage. Okay? And so whatever that means for you, I'm tempted to pull another card for you, Jacqueline, because I really want to clarify that. Yeah, there's some indecision here with the Hangman, okay? There's some indecision here about the next move for you. And the thing that I'm channeling here is that something that you need to do. This is also regarding contracts, and this is also regarding signing on the dotted line. So this could be some business decisions that are going to be coming up for you this year. Okay, Jacqueline? I feel like you're going to be making some pivots this year for you. And you're having your solar return right now, friend. That's coming up here for you very shortly. If we're not in it, or right, yeah, we're about to be approaching it here right after Aquarius season. So you are having your solar return, right? So you are being asked to really look back over the last year. There were some areas of non-productivity. You made decisions that you needed to cut, or I'm hearing cut yourself free, and to be able to move how you wanted to, but you have found yourself with, like, I'm hearing a general malaise and not happy. You have been performing your duties. You've been showing up. You've been filling other people's cup, and you've definitely been kind of living up to the status quo. And this year there's going to be a shakeup because the status quo is for you no more. So there is something that's happening with business, a business shift, where you're not going to be stuck anymore in it or mired in any kind of mud or clay. I'm seeing you with your feet stuck, and that's just not the way for you. A flow is coming up, but they're going to break you out of that stagnant state. I want you to script as you're coming up to the solar return, okay? So about business shifts and what you are obligated to do or not to do. All right, Jacqueline, that message is for you. I hope it was helpful. All right. Oh, you're so welcome, Collective Light. Jacqueline. I'm doing good. Good, good. Hello, Miss Lofton. Is there still time to ask a question? Yes. You're welcome, Jacqueline. I love you, sweet friend. All right. Yes, there's still time to ask a question. Monica, what do my guides need me to know most right now? Okay, I've got decks to the left and to the right of me. I'm trying to see which deck. What deck? I'm attracted to this one. You have a lot of fairy energy, Monica, is what I'm hearing, okay? You have a lot of fairy energy. And so I am going to pull out some earth cards here for you, okay? So we're going to use this deck. What does her higher self need to know right now? All right, we have sugarcane and amanu, and I'm going to get out the card that goes with it. Sugarcane was the one that popped out. Sugarcane, 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 sugarcane. Okay. Okay. So root chakra and grounding, definitely outside for you. Uranus. I am the truth beyond the present condition. My rugged sweetness persists beyond what I have experienced. The truth that binds us brings us ecstatic highs and lows. Power belongs to those who have the courage to peer behind the curtains of deception. I have one more for you, and I feel like I have an answer for you with that, because I think there is healing warrior. Okay, your Chiron energy this year is going to be really dealt with, okay, with the healing warrior here. I exercise right power through all that I touch and I'm touched by. I have reached the top of the mountain, and it was through being in power with and not powering over that I rose above. Though being in integrity with our personal will, we will understand monsters and other vexations to be a projection of our own fears. With power, what are you being asked to move through? I would say that last year was a very tough year because you had some hard lessons that had to do with interpersonal dynamics and you. So people, you had to learn the monsters, cannot just live under your bed. they can live in your head. And if anyone was allowed to infiltrate, that ability is going to be able to go away. You were allowed to be triggered so deeply, Monica, last year because you needed to face your greatest fear, which was allowing other people in and also at the helm. You also learned a valuable lesson to not hand your power out to anybody. I want you to do a reading. Go to Cafe Astrology, and if you don't know where your Chiron sits in your chart, you need to find that out. And maybe pop into a comment section and just leave it below. And I might make some videos about Chiron specifically in each placement in the next few weeks here after I've got a whole schedule for Valentine's Day. But after I fulfill that syllabus in March, we'll take a look at Chiron placements, okay? Because I think it will be imperative for you to understand specifically how you are healing. And one of the things, whatever your Chiron placement sits at, one of the things that I'm channeling here that has to do with you is taking your power back and not letting people overpower you. I don't know what your Chiron placement is, but I have a feeling that that was one of the lessons that you had to work through. And this year you're going to be fully healing and integrating and understanding. I hope that resonates with you. Good, good, good. I'm glad it does. All right, let's see. It was for Monette. Okay, what did Mr. Chalk say? How am I doing? Mr. Chalk, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hallelujah. Yeah, Monica, I'm really happy for you because you've been through a doozy and enough of giving your power away. Like, I'm talking to you like some Black Mama stuff. Like, I love you. And you're not doing that anymore. Oh, no more. And it's not just that you're not doing it anymore and I'm admonishing you. It's that you learned such an important lesson last year that it could never again happen to you. And that's what integrating your Chiron placement will do for you. You're healing that properly. So now it's your greatest strength and power. And you'll be able to see with like an X-ray vision when people are playing games with you and want to overpower or usurp your authority. Okay? It's like you get a superpower now. You get a superpower. That's what you get for going through that tower where people were overpowering you. And this is a lifetime of overpowering. I'm getting a lot of downloads about you too. You need to do a lot of healing around your root and your sacral. Okay? There's been a lot of violation with that with you. Take that power back. Indeed. Mr. Chak, I'm doing really good. Life has been really good. Everything has been moving in the most beautiful ways. And I have, I think you can probably tell, Mr. Chalk, you've been here with me, a real ride or die, day one, A1, taking a look at my journey. And you could tell the glow is glowing. Okay, sir? We outside in the best way. And that means that I'm a better channel for you guys too. But I want to thank you guys for going through so many things with me and allowing me to teach and transmute here with you. I appreciate you endlessly. Natalie says, this sounds like what I need to happen. Big contracts are regarding home after being screwed over by the city contractors moving forward after 12-year relationship that didn't give me what oh my goodness. See, now you know exactly what you do need. And now you know exactly how to heal, and new beginnings are all you get. You literally went through 12 years a slave with that whole contract situation, and that is so real. And that is a way that we can be entrenched into old patterns. But you have a brand new cycle coming up for you, Natalie. So I'm so happy for you because you can finally breathe a sigh of relief because you actually made it through that. But Mr. Coochie Chalk, I love you so much. And yes, I thank you guys for my A1 Day Ones here for allowing me to transmute, to heal and repair with you. We truly evolve together on this channel. It's not just a catchy moniker. It is exactly what my angels guided me to do. Thank you for ingesting and giving feedback and being here with me in every single way. And, thank you for listening to the things that I have to say and sharing the things that you have to say with me. And thank you for asking about me. Mr. Chalk, I appreciate you as always. What I was going to say was this. There was something else regarding love realignment. I just had to show you guys the rose quartz. You might not be able to see it so good in this lighting, but I said to just hold this up for you guys. Just for a little bit of vibrational realignment and healing our hearts in so many ways. All right, I'm going to see if there's any more questions. If not, we're going to wrap this up here in a couple minutes. I'm going to be true to my word here. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to pull one card and see what else we have that we can expect in our new beginnings as we close out. This has been lovely getting to spend time with you. Thank you for dealing with me with technical difficulties. Thank you for letting me come to you as I am. Today wasn't full glam. So thank you for being so kind to me, guys. As always, Miss Laura, thank you. Everybody, you all better thank Miss Laura, okay? Miss Laura, I want to brag on her all the time, but I'm not trying to tell her business. But Miss Laura was literally built to be bouncing and checking people in the best way. Ever feminine, ever divine feminine, but she doesn't play, and I just love her for that. And so she made this such a pleasant live for me, because if there were trolls, I don't even know. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you guys for the way you guys love me and protect me. All right, what's the last thing for my collective here? What's the last thing that they need to know about new beginnings as we move through the rest of this year? Well, they said deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. And I'm going to pull one more here. Oh, I love ending this on y'all. Sexual union. Hey, y'all know that my Leo primal ass loves all of us to be getting some. Everybody needs to have sex, okay? Sexual union. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. But y'all... kiss, kiss, kiss. I think that's perfect for Valentine's Day. The reason that we did all this new beginning chat is so that you can let someone back in that kind of way. And that kind of way is needed. That clears out our chakras and clears out pipes too. And it makes life beautiful. And you all deserve a little bit of that. Each and every one of you. So good sharing energy with you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for sharing your eyes with me. Thank you for clicking on this channel. Thank you for staying. Mr. Chalk Chalk, for you, because I know you love a little bit of the good goss, celebrity goss, and pick apart. And we're going to do it from a cerebral place with an Earth Angel heart. I'm going to be talking about, it was requested by somebody, I don't remember who, chat about Wendy Williams and her son. So I'm going to do my due diligence on that. That'll be a pre-record, but that will be here. So stay tuned. That will be coming up here in the next few weeks, if not sooner than that. Okay. We shall see. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I love each and every one of you. Genuinely. I am grateful for you. And I am so proud of you that you are taking the steps to love you too. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.